Hello everyone, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition. Last time we found some wreckage in this Illithid ship, killed this mind flayer who was lying dead with some civilians around it, and in doing so we got enough XP to go up to level 2. So let's start with the familiar. We have Shadowheart going up to level 2, she gets another spell slot. She gets Channel Divinity, Turn Undead, and we can change her prepared spells at this time. We also get Invoke Duplicity, summon an illusion to distract your enemies. You and your allies receive advantage on attack rolls against a creature if both the attacker and the illusion are within 10 feet of it. As for our spells, things I'm going to want, I think, are Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds are just too good not to have. After some time in Solasta, I think Bless I'm coming more around to. Healing Word, we're going to want to keep people alive. And at this time, I think just Cure Wounds for more keeping us alive as well. Potions are far more plentiful, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But that's all we need to do here for now. Then Astarion simply gets Cunning Action Dash and Cunning Action Disengage, so he can do those now as bonus actions, whereas the other heroes need to do that as a full action, and our maximum hit points increase, of course. Now for the interesting stuff. Sorcerer. Through experience, you acquire new power. You gain the following traits. Max hit points per level. Our hit points are now 14, and we receive 2 sorcery points. Sorcery points can be used to alter your spells or create extra spell slots. Regain sorcery points by taking a long rest. So we can create sorcery points with a spell slot, or we can use our sorcery points to create a spell slot. So they trade off on one another, although at least in tabletop it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, so you have to be careful how you do that. And at this time, normally I think you have to wait till level 3 to get your meta magic in tabletop, but we're getting it at level 2. There goes the sirens. Let's turn off those so we can have Careful Spell. Allies automatically succeed saving throws against spells that require them. So if we had a spell like Shatter and we cast it with our friends inside the area of effect, it would mean that they would automatically save on the throw. They would still take half damage for that, but it's better than taking full damage. Distance Spell increases the range of a spell by 50%. Spells with a range of 5 feet are increased to 30 feet. Extended Spell, double the duration of conditions, summons, and surfaces caused by spells. Or Twinned Spell, spells that only target one creature can target an additional creature. Cost 1 sorcery point per spell slot used. Cantrips cost 1 also. For spells that don't shoot a projectile, the targets need to be close enough together. So I think we're definitely going to want Twin Spell. There's no Quicken Spell here. I can't remember if that was an option in the video I watched, or in the panel from Hell rather. But I think, let's see what spells we have a choice of at the moment first. Because obviously we have the option to double a duration. I can't remember what spells we already have, really. That's on me for not being one with a better memory. But we can choose any of these, and unlike a wizard who can prepare anything from his spellbook, or a cleric who can prepare anything that they have, a sorcerer only knows as many spells as they've learnt, and they must be those spells always, apart from when we level up. Actually, we can replace a spell so we can see what we have. It's only Chromatic Orb and Mage Armor. So, that's what we have going on. I think Distance Spell and Witch Bolt could be very interesting, because you have to be within the 60-foot range to reapply the 1d12 damage as you're concentrating on it. Or we could Twin Spell it and shoot 2 foes with it. So I think Witch Bolt is a good choice. If this were tabletop, Witch Bolt works slightly differently, but I think this version of Twinned spell, Witch Bolt is way better implemented than the tabletop version. So I'm going to allow myself that. So I'm going to take Distance Spell as well. 50% extra distance. We're not going to replace either of the spells we have, so we will accept that. And if we go to Akidis now, so we have 2 sorcery points. We have our create sorcery points and create spell slot, and we can metamagic twin spell and metamagic distance spell. So we just turn those on when we want to cast a spell that they activate, and then when we use that spell, it has the metamagic applied to it. We can also create a spell slot with our 2 sorcery points. So if we were to click this, at the moment we only have 2 sorcery points, and it costs 2 sorcery points to make a level 1 spell slot. Or we can turn one of our first level spell slots into a single sorcery point. So we don't have too much flexibility yet, but as time goes on, that will increase rapidly. When we have more sorcery points, more ways of gaining sorcery points and the like. I think, yeah, they recharge on a long rest, not a short rest. So, what do we want to do next? Well, we still only have 3 in our party. So, I think we're going to want a 4th. And we should be able to find one right here.
With haste.
Now, I don't know exactly the composition of the party I want to have when we finish. But we can always, and I always forget this bit, we can swap people back at camp if we really want to. I think in one of my very early runs, that was broken, and so I just kind of neglected to ever try doing it again. Who's equipped with what for ranged weapons? We have a light crossbow. Shadowheart has a short bow, and Astarion also a short bow. That's fine. So let's make sure Akidis is doing some of the talking. And let's wander up to this little teleporter here.
You're alive. That's unexpected. Last I saw you, you were lying in a crucible's worth of blood. An intellect devourer nibbling at your ear. Glad to see my eyes deceive me. I'm Gale. Well met.
Well met. You were on the ship as well, I presume.
Very same. A traumatizing experience, if an instructive one.
Instructive.
Nautiloids are incredibly rare vessels, a mind flayer colony's most guarded secret, and a gift pack's greatest prize. Not to mention, you're staring at me like a Rashimi at a blackboard. You're no wizard, are you?
I'm better than a wizard. I'm a sorcerer.
There's a gust of weave about you, but it's a mere breeze. I need a tempest. It'll have to wait. The primary need is a healer. I take it you recall the insertion of the parasite?
Yes, it was horrific.
Are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it'll turn us into mind flayers? A process known as ceremorphosis? It is to be avoided. I assume you're no accomplished healer either. Powerful cleric, maybe?
I can't say that I am.
Then we'll have to find one. And fast. You and I are in a whole lot of trouble. We need help, and I'm not sure where we'll find it in this wilderness. How about we embark on the quest for a healer together?
That sounds great.
Most excellent. Then, without further ado, let's be off. Besides, looks like you keep some interesting company. A woman with shadows for eyes, deep as the dark lake. Pleasure, madam.
Is it indeed? We'll see.
And so, we have our 4th. Gale starting at level 1, we can immediately level him up to 2 as well. This will also let us change our prepared spells. So we can take Evocation, spells that focus on elemental energy into powerful attacks and enchantments. Those who specialize in this school are known as Evokers. Create pockets of safety within your evocation spells. Allies automatically succeed their saving throws and take no damage from these spells. So that's better than the Sorcerer's Careful spell in that even though they automatically succeed the save, Sorcerers would inflict half damage as harm, but Wizards not so much. Or Abjuration. Abjuration spells summon wards, banish enemies, and nullify magic, suitable for those who wish to defend themselves and others. Arcane Ward. Once per day, when you cast an Abjuration spell of first level or higher, you can use a strand of the spell's magic to create a magical ward that lasts until your next long rest. The ward has a maximum of 2 × 1 + 3 hit points and absorbs all damage done to you. When it is reduced to 0 hit points, you take the remaining damage, but the magic remains. Whenever you cast an Abjuration spell of first level or higher, the ward regains a number of hit points equal to twice the level of the spell. So, do we have any Abjuration spells as a choice? Conjuration, Evocation, Enchantment, Evocation, Conjuration. Evocation, Conjuration, Conjuration, Enchantment, Evocation, Abjuration, Abjuration, and Transmutation. Well, Protect from Good and Evil and Mage Armor, I'm not likely to use a whole lot. So, we will opt into Evocation. We will customize our prepared spells. But before we do that, we can learn 2 spells to go into our spellbook. So, what do we want those to be? I think I'll take Find Familiar, since having the Familiar as a Warlock was incredibly useful on our last run. Even though they won't be able to turn invisible, it'll be good for scouting and the like. The temptation is to get Chromatic Orb as well, just because it is a high damage spell that is new. But we could take Tasha's Hideous Laughter. An incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions at the end of its turn, or when it takes damage. That's like, when it takes damage, you only get 1 benefit from this. So I think for now, Magic Missile is a classic choice. I've been leaning on this more in other games for kind of finishing off low health opponents guaranteed. So we'll take that. We already have Thunder Wave for some AoE damage that our party can avoid. And we're probably going to want Mage Armor for ourselves as well. Now, we can't cast Find Familiar as a ritual, I think, which is going to be slightly annoying, but we'll double check. So we'll go with this for now. Of course, as a wizard, we can pick from these 8 spells every time we have a long rest, so that's not going to be a problem. So this is a spell slot to cast, not anything else. We can Arcane Recovery to get some of our spell slots back. Let's just move some of this stuff around. We have Firebolt, Ray of Frost, Mage Hand as our cantrips. Alright, I think we are ready to continue our adventure.
No time to rest. Have to keep going.
Right, where exactly are we? Well, I recognize those steps, certainly.
Moving ahead.
But if we creep up here, I think before we go on
Forward.
to any real dungeon delving, we have something we can do up here.
Should mind my step.
I wonder if we'll get new interactions, because I've never played a Tiefling before. Let's find out.
Zoru was right. Yellow as a toad and twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, A guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
You again. Get rid of them.
Well, we get nothing with a specific Tiefling tag, but of course we do have high charisma as a sorcerer, and we have perception in persuasion and deception. Shoot the trap down. We must kill it before it harms someone. DC 5. We have +3 and +2. So long as this isn't a natural 1, we won't fail. Close. I still think natural 1s on skill checks shouldn't be automatic failures.
He's right. No one's safe if that thing goes loose. Not even us.
Damaze?
Enough. Lower the trap. Ready your blade.
You've but one chance. Join me or die.
We attack the Tieflings.
No!
You lying rat!
And roll initiative. Right. Our sorcerer is up first. Now, I'm going to save our really fancy spell slots and meta magic because I don't think this is going to be a particularly taxing fight, and we have some bigger ones ahead, and I don't want to have to long rest in between. So for now, we will just stick with a nice firebolt. And we crit for 4 damage, so we rolled a 2 and it was doubled, I'm going to guess. No, we rolled 2d10 and we got 4 out of it. Right, that's all we're going to do. We have nothing else to really do for our bonus actions. We'll try and get to slightly safer, higher ground, perhaps. Lozelle is wrecking over there. Right, we can't cunning action hide. So, I'm going to guess we must have advantage against the target. See, the target is within 5 feet of an ally, so I think we should get sneak attack, which makes rogues currently less powerful than I feel they should be. But there's one down. Then here, I think we can just keep up with the cantrips. I'm going to put myself between Gale and the bad guy. Nope, they go after Achilles and cause us no real harm. Gale, you two are in Cantrip City. And then back to the top of the order. So even though we were at high ground and we got +2 to our attack roll, we still managed to miss there, but... Well, here I thought we were gonna kill him really fast. Let's try hiding up here. So, for all characters, hiding is a bonus action. However, in D&D 5th edition, hiding is a full action unless you are a rogue where you can cunning action hide.
Let's find some prey.
So, Astarion can cunning action hide as a bonus action. If the other heroes do this, then it will be treated as the use of their entire action. That's how I home rule this for myself. But we now have advantage because we're hidden, and so we can sneak attack. We do 8 damage, which is pretty good going. And we just need to do 2 points of damage. Excellent. Not a hair on our heads touched.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Tiefling, you are clearly no friend to tieflings. We will go our separate ways. No, I think...
It is many.
we want to get her to camp.
Hatchery, a training grounds, a shelter. Githyanki protocol is clear. When infected with a ghaik tadpole, we must report to a caretaker for purification.
So we'll say thank you, let's go join together. She'll say there's too many of us here.
Full up. Dismiss your weakest warrior.
Wait in my camp, we can speak there.
Very well, but heed my words. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A crash must be near. I must interrogate this Zoru. Our very lives depend on it. I will be at your camp. Do not keep me waiting.
I mean, we'll be back eventually. So, Lozelle is free. She's going to go disappear into the ether. Let's pick over this
Worth a rummage.
site. We get a pear, some leather armor, and a short bow. There's another short bow on the ground here. And then Nymessa, dagger, leather armor, and the like. Now, let me just see what Astarion is wearing. Padded armor, +3 dex on 11, but disadvantage on stealth rolls. So if we pass one of these over to Astarion, we can have him swap out for this. He'll look less regal, but we won't have disadvantage on our stealth checks anymore, which is going to be really good for him. What we'd also like to do probably is
My faith protects me.
give him the rapier. I think he can wield that. And it is a finesse weapon, so... Yep, we have +5 to attack, 1d8 piercing, and we can still sneak attack with it. And we also get flourish. Feint an attack to possibly throw your enemy off balance. Bonus action, recharge once per short rest. So I don't know if that's going to knock them prone or something else, but it could be very useful. Weakening strike. Target an enemy's hands with a non-lethal attack to deal 1d4 +3 piercing damage and possibly inflict weak grip. Piercing strike and hamstring shot. Inflict gaping wounds. Reduce their speed by 50%. Alright, very nice. Gale just has a quarterstaff where you get trip or topple. Swipe it at an enemy to try and knock it prone. Dexterity save. Otherwise, I think we're doing alright. We have a Sorcerer's Robe, which is just 10 + 2.
Which way do the
Gale has simple robes. Shadowheart has a chain shirt, which is 13 + 2 for 15 AC, plus her shield for another 2. And she doesn't have disadvantage with that, which is wonderful. So with that all done, I'm going to take this moment to
I'm sure.
cast Mage Armor on Gale. I wonder.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Too late now, but in future, could I twin spell Mage Armor? I absolutely could. So we could spend 1 sorcery point and 1 spell slot to cast Mage Armor on both Akedis and Gale, which is worth remembering.
You have mine.
And they both have 3 spell slots currently. Let's up our defenses. So Mage Armor, we set off a magical fog cloud in our wild magic. So that sets our AC now to 15, which is 13 from Mage Armor plus 2 from our Dexterity. And if we get ourselves out of this fog cloud, I think we are all ready for the next part of our adventure, which is going to be the classic moving into the broken down tomb over here. But that will be for next time. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If there are any events or excursions you would like me to go and do specifically in this campaign, or if there's anything new or interesting that you know about that you would like to see me interact with, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.